Hello, everyone! I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to another adventure in GregTech New Horizons. So, today we are going to be working on another one of the Steam multi-blocks that we have to try and do. Well, we don't have to try and do them, but I would like to try and get all of the Steam multi-blocks kind of made here pretty soon. So we're going to be working on the next one today. And the one we're going to be working on today is the Steam Blender. Now, I think I talked about it before, and I said that we were going to make this one out of steel. Well, I've changed my mind on that, and there's really two reasons why I've changed my mind on that. The first reason is if I were to make this thing out of steel, it would be crazy expensive. So if we look at the structure, it is massive. It's probably the biggest one, I think, of the Steam multi-blocks. It needs 100 bronze-plated bricks, or it would need 100 solid steel machine casings. Now, I did run some calculations, and if I were to just make 100 solid steel machine casings, which need 6 plates, and they need 1 steel frame box, which is basically 4 rods, it would essentially be 1,000 steel ingots. Although I would get half of the rods back, so it'd be about 800 steel ingots that I would be spending in order to make just the 100 solid steel machine casings. And, well, that's a lot of steel. So I had to think about whether or not I wanted to make this thing out of steel or bronze, and then I found this out. So if we look at the little text here of the quest and scroll to the bottom, you'll notice it says this multi-block can only process recipes up to LV tier. So if we have to use some sort of an MV kind of mixing recipe, this thing can't do it. So once I saw that, I realized, yeah, you know what? We probably should only do bronze for this instead of steel. So that's what we're going to be going ahead and doing today. We're going to try and get this thing set up and assembled and get it operational, but we're going to make it out of bronze for this one instead of steel. So let's go ahead and show you what I've been up to, what I've got so far, and what we still have to do. In fact, I don't think we actually have much. I think I've only got the bronze-plated bricks. So I've only got the bronze-plated bricks so far, so we still have to get the whole rest of the stuff set up, which I don't think will be very hard, but we'll see. And also, we might be doing a couple of other quests as well. We'll see what happens. So, bronze gearbox casing. Do we have everything? Nope, we don't have. Ooh, we might actually have the bronze gears. I think. Yep, there they are right there. I've got them already prepared in this area. Well, now that we've got those, I think we can go ahead. Oh, no, we don't. We actually need 4 of those, don't we? Okay. So let's grab 16 more bronze ingots, and then we need the gear mold. I have moved all my molds over here now. I don't think they were there before. Don't think you've seen them there, but do that for that because this is my main alloy smelter now. Alright, that'll be off and running. Alright, what else can we work on while we're waiting for that? Oh, the 8 blocks of iron. Let's go ahead and get those prepared. So that is going to be 72 iron ingots. And we'll throw that into our steam squash over here. Should be good. You should be up and running. Yep, 8 blocks of iron right there. And then you're going to give me the gears. There we go. It's still in there. Let's take those out. Oh. What happened? Oh, you're already done. Okay. For some reason, I thought that was going to take a lot longer. Alright, so we've got the 8 blocks of iron, it looks like. I'll put those in there. Then we need the bronze gearbox casings. 2 of those. There we go. Alright, so that's done. That's done. Next, we need the input and the output bus. These are pretty simple. We just need a little bit of some Tembaga plates. So let's go ahead and get those up and running. So we'll get those up. And what else is next? Bronze pipe casing. That is some bronze pipes. We need 2 of them, and I can only afford 1. How many pipes do we have? Okay, we have no more. I just need a few more of these pipes, and it looks like. Can I do... Yep, that'll work. That there. That there. And then, should be able to make 2 of those. Right. Tembaga plate should be ready so that we can make the input and the output. So input bus for steam. output bus for steam. I think the only difference is that the tembaga and the tin are swapping places, I think. Yeah, tin here, tembaga on top. Yeah, tembaga to the side, tin on top. That's the only difference between those two. All right, so we got that. Next, we need to go ahead then and make ourselves the input hatch and the output hatch. Those can be actually made in the assembler for a lot cheaper. We need the ULV machine holes. And that needs the ULV machine casings, don't they? So we need 2 of those. And we're out of raw iron plates, I think, aren't we? 1 short. You know what? Let's get some of that running right now. In fact, do I have any in here? Nope, I don't. Let's put some in here then. All right, we'll get that running for now. I only need 1 so I can make the thing. And let's see, we needed to make another one of these ULV machine casings, which I need to be in a crafting table, of course, to do that. All right, there we go. We got our second one of those, and now I need to go ahead and make the hatches, which does need... Oh, it needs the hull. We only made the casing, didn't we? Okay, that needs more raw iron. We can actually use an assembler, but we need polyethylene. We need... Oh, the lead cables, right. Okay, so... Do we have any lead wires? Oh, actually, no, I think we have some cables already down with the rubber area. All right, let's go to sleep and we'll go head on down there. And in fact, this is actually a good opportunity to show you... Ooh, we just got speed as well. Perfect timing for that. Actually, let me show you a couple of things down here. So, a couple of things I want to notice is... Oh, I've turned off the multi-farm for now because this bale was full, although it's starting to empty down a little bit. But I wanted to show you that we are now completely full up in this tank on methane, and it is actually successfully voiding all of this stuff now. So, that's quite good. But this has made me realize something. And it's an interesting thought I had, and I'm curious to hear what you might think about this. But we are running these centrifuges off of the methane that these are basically producing. So, basically, we're getting extra methane out of using the methane to power all this, and it made me wonder, what if we were to expand this setup and actually try and get a whole bunch of methane, and what if we tried to use that methane for power over a larger area? I don't know how successful we would be at that, but it's just a thought I had, and I'm curious to hear what you might think. All right, so let's head down here, and by the way, actually, before we go in there, the amount of rubber that we're getting out of this rubber system is just incredible. So, look at this. We are now over halfway full, and I had this thing running for a while, making some rubber sheets, and also, yep, there's the lead cables in there I had. So, yeah, that is doing quite amazing. We're over 50% full now in the tank on the molten rubber, so we are just swimming in rubber right now. It's amazing. All right, so we got the lead cables we need. So now we should be able to make the ULV machine hole. Nope, we need the raw iron still. Should have all of that, and just a little bit more to go. Let's put you in here. And then we'll make the ULV machine holes. We need 2 of those. 1, 2. And then we need to make the output hatch and the input hatch. So, oh, now we need refined glue, don't we? Okay. Let's grab some cells. Have to venture back downstairs again, because we actually need to get some of that refined glue. Easy way to get in. Alright, so there's our refined glue tank. This is doing quite well as well. So we've got 238,000. Pretty good. And we need 2 cells, I believe it was. Actually, let me just double check on that. Yeah, 144 for that one. And then this is the output hatch. The only difference with this one is actually the circuit. This one, input hatch needs circuit 1 in the assembler. Output hatch is circuit 2. So just need 2 cells of this because we're going to make the input and the output hatch. And then we go to the assembler with you. We have some excess water in here. Do we have... Yep, we have a plunger. I can just plunge that out. We don't use that very often, but it was useful for just now. Alright, we got that. And... Alright, let's be careful about this. I don't want to make 2 of the same thing. So, UOV machine hole. Oh, that's 2,000. Okay, interesting. And a cell. And circuit 1. Should be able to make the other one as well. Okay, so I'm going to have to take out the excess of that. Let's wait for this to finish. 24 seconds per. There's the rest of that raw iron. Let me put that in as well. Put you there. Alright, so off and running is that one now. So we should get 2 different things. Alright, we got the extra refined glue. I'll hold on to that for now. And let's put these cells away. Those in there. Alright, so what do we have? We have the output hatch, input hatch. We still need the... Oh, the steam hatch needs to be made still. That needs more bronze pipes. More bronze pipes for you. And we also need this ultra-low voltage fluid tank, which needs a large clay fluid pipe. Right. Okay. Do we not have any of that on us? Nope, I had the huge clay fluid pipes. Alright, we need some clay dust, actually. Alright, so let's go head over here. I think we only need like 6, but we'll probably want a little bit extra. Where is my clay dust at? Oh, I only have 4. Oh, okay. So in that case, we're going to need... I think it's hardened clay. Or maybe the terracotta will work. Let's see. Which one is it? Macerator, clay dust, perfect. I think we can just throw this one in the single block, because it will be pretty quick, I think. Yeah, that's quick enough. We only need a couple of pieces of this, but we need to put it through a compressor. Alright, we'll let that run for now. So we're getting there slowly. Alright, so there, yep, output hatch, input hatch. Alright, so we got all of that down, and then the steam hatch, and the final step is just to make the steam blender itself. Alright, let's let that finish, and then the steam blender, what do we need and what do we have? Steam blender itself, we need some, we need 2 more bronze-plated bricks. I did 102 because quest here mentioned 102. Guess we need 2 more. Well, actually, I just noticed the quest itself isn't mentioning the need for the input hatch and the output hatch. See, the way I got that from was it mentioned it here. We don't have to put those in, but I guess we've already made them, so it's we should put them in. Alright, so there's the clay dust. Let me put this into the compressor since we'll need the clay plates to make that pipe for the tank. Put that in there, and nothing in there for now. In fact, that might be done quick. At 12 seconds, actually. We'll come back for that. Alright, so anyways, though, we actually need 2 more of those than that means, so... do we have any bronze plates left? Well, we have just enough, and we need some bricks as well. That's how we make these, so let's go grab those. 2 bricks. We can put those into the assembling machine, I believe. It's circuit 1. Those should make the final 2 of those. Alright, so now that that's on its way, we can hopefully pick up some clay plates. There we go, and I think we can make that pipe. Put those in there, and then we need to make the large clay fluid pipe. Let's make 2, why not? In case we need to make another one of those tanks at some point in the future, which we probably will, because we still have 2 more steam machines left to make, I believe. Multi-blocks, that is. So, let's put you there, and then, can we make this? No, we need a water bucket. Alright, here's a bucket, and let's go to our sink in the kitchen, and go ahead and get some water from there. Now, this thing actually, I don't think is hooked up to water anymore. I might have to fix that at some point. Because we used to have, before we built the second floor, we used to have a water tank on the roof that fed that thing, and then I had to tear that down when I built that second floor over here. So, yeah, that thing's not actually being fed with water, but we still have some left. Alright, so we got that. Ultra low voltage fluid tank, and then That means we should be able to make our steam hatch. Nope, we're now out of bronze plates. Alright. Alright, we don't need much, though. I'll just put a stack in here for now. There's the extra ones of those. Alright, and now, how are we coming along on making the blender itself? Not good. We need some Tembaga stuff, so we need the frame boxes. Do we have any Tembaga rods? Do we have any Tembaga rods in here? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so we need some Tembaga. Alright, throw 4 of those in there so we can get that up and running. We should have the bronze we need here, which was for the hatch. Alright, so there's the hatch done. The last thing I think we need at this point is going to be the blender. That's the last thing we need. So, we are getting that. Tembaga ring is an additional 2 rods. Alright, we're going to get those set up. We're going to need to make some more Tembaga at some point too, won't we? Oh, that was fast, wasn't it? Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't even notice how fast that was. How much stuff are we getting from you? Take that out manually for the moment. Alright, so we got that. And then we need the frame box, which is, I believe, circuit 4. Looks like it is. Put you in there. Alright, we got that. Tembaga frame box. Tembaga rod. We can turn that into the ring. There we go. And then what else is it we need? We need one more thing. Tembaga rotor. And can we make this an extruder? We can! Okay, that's good. That saves us a little bit, because this would have been a pain to make. So we need 10 more Tembaga. Getting quite low on Tembaga. Maybe we'll use the mixer to make some Tembaga. I think we can do that. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Let me get this going inside of you. That will take just over a minute, I think. Alright, so while we're doing that, let's see. How do we make Tembaga then? Because we're going to need more, I think, for the other 2 steam multis. Let's take a look actually at that after we wake up. There we go. So, yeah, this one we have to make the steam purifier. We're going to make these pretty soon, actually. Okay, this one actually needs a frame box then. And then the presser frame box. So maybe we don't... we'll see. I'll make some more just in case. So, let's see. How do we make Tembaga? We haven't made this in a while. We use the dust. Mixer. Okay, copper and gold. Okay, that's not too bad. If we're going to make some extra Tembaga, then we might want to go ahead and prepare. I don't know, 21 and... was it 9, I think? Tembaga. Yeah, 7 and 3. Alright, so let's just crush that down so we have that prepared for when we want to actually use the mixer. Because it's going to take a bit to assemble this, because there is a little bit of work needed. And there we go. And then... yeah, I think that'll do for now. Okay, so what else could we possibly want to get on with here? We need to get the rotors, which looks like they're done. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now we can go ahead and get the final ingredient. Let me put this bucket away as well. And this should also knock off the quest steam blender itself. Lovely. Alright, so we got that made up. And I think actually it didn't take the... yeah, we need those. So that should tick off the quest. Yep, there we go. Steam blender. So that quest is now finished. I won't take the reward just yet, but now we have to actually assemble everything. So much like the centrifuge. Put that away. This is quite a large multi-block. So let's go head downstairs. In fact, let me make sure I need some pipes prepared because we're going to have to get steam into this. So let's grab you. Let's go head on down and try and get this thing assembled. So the location where I'm actually going to assemble this is actually right here. So let's put the chunks on. I want to put it right here. We'll see if it stays here. Again, We're not quite sure how useful it'll be, but I'm going to put it right there. So what we need to do in order to make this, let's turn all this off. I think we've got everything. Well, that's fine for now, actually. So this is what the structure looks like. We'll turn it to tier 1, and we'll do it layer by layer. So it is quite large. It's actually, yeah, 7 by 7. So what you need to do, it looks like a 7 by 7 without the corners. So I'm going to start it here. Smack dab in the center. 1. And we're going to do the same thing I think we did for the centrifuge as well. I'm going to put that steam hatch right in the center. So, where's the steam hatch at? Why do I have a steam hatch on me? Okay, maybe we left it upstairs, actually. Alright, interesting. Alright, let's go take a look. I know we made it, didn't we? Ah, there it is. It ended up in there. I still don't know why that happens occasionally, but it does. Alright, so let's put this thing right here. Put you there, and then I need my wrench. So we can make sure you're pointed to the bottom. Alright, and then we need to put the rest of these here. And of course, again, the corners we don't need to put. What was that? That was good. Is that what we want? Yes, that is. Alright, so we'll do that. So then for layer 2, and also actually let me just quickly check and make sure. Yep, steam hatch, any one casing, so all these cases can go anywhere. Yeah, all the buses and hatches and stuff can go in any casing, that's good. Alright, so the next layer, we're going to layer the outside with the bronze plate plated bricks. Let me make sure that was a controller. Yeah, controller goes right there. And then we need to place down the controller. And then in the middle, we need to go ahead then and put down the blocks of iron, which, of course, I don't have those either. What is going on today? Alright, I don't have the blocks of iron. Did I leave those? I left those in here. Alright, well, that's alright. Let's go head on back down again. Yeah, this is looking quite interesting of a multi-block. So this is kind of like the little blades, I guess, for the mixer. Interesting. That there, put that there. Turn on also this. I wonder if they can spawn in. Well, let's see the rest of the structure first. See if mobs can spawn inside. Alright, so next we go to the third layer, which is pretty much... Oh, actually, we almost forgot. Bronze gearbox casing goes there. So let me get the rest of these out. Okay, we'll do that. Bronze gearbox casing goes in the center. And then, let's see. Layer 3 is going to be pretty much... Yeah, it says the buses, but those can go anywhere. We'll place those as we go. Alright, so we do a pipe casing here, and then this is going to be more of the same. And actually, let's deal with the buses now while I still can think about it. So, let's see. We're going to do pretty much something similar, I think. Can put our... Oh, these are hatches. Let's do the buses first. So, input bus can go right there. Yeah, that'll do. And then the output bus will probably go right here. Yeah, that'll work. And then for the hatches, I don't really know how much we're going to use these, but... we can put you there. We'll just put the hatches kind of in the center part. Oh, we could put them in the back, actually. Let's do that. So keep them the same. So this is the input bus. So we'll put the input hatch. This is for the fluids the hatches are. Buses are for the items. The hatches are for the fluids. So put that there. All right, now we should be able to go ahead and start building up the rest of the structure now. So, next on... All right, we got layer 3 down, I believe. So, layer 4. It's actually quite simple. We just put in pipe casing in the center. And I think it's just a block here on the 4 little cardinal direction areas. Something like that. All right, so next we go to layer 5. And we are running out of space here, aren't we? So layer 5... we put one of these here. Right, so we are going to hit an issue. Yeah, mobs could spawn inside this. Alright, we'll look into that in a bit, but then I think we do that. Check one more time. We do this, and then we come across like that. Just like that, and that. And then finally, the final layer just all comes in like this. So, I think I can get this from here. Yep, I think it's that. In fact, alright, so everything should be actually open on this too. So, I wonder how we can get rid of that. If I could squeeze in. Well, actually, we can grab some glowstone for now. Let me just put these here. Oh, I could just put torches on top, but that's kind of ugly looking, isn't it? Yeah, I might grab some stuff for that, but let's just see if this actually works first. Okay, that looks like a good sign. It has no steam, though, so we need to connect the steam, I just remembered. All right, so let's go head down here. So what I've done for the moment is I have just connected off another pipeline here. This might change because what I could do is I could put like a, what was it? This is large, so we could put a huge pipe here, and I could have one way going that way and another one going this way that connect to the mixer. But for now, I'm just using this connection point here. So that's our steam hatch. We're going to make sure it's connected this time. So I'm going to grab that and then put a torch just to make sure. Yep, that is connected now. And then do that. And connect up the rest of this. The little arrows. Alright, that should work. Let's go up and take a look. Actually, this does look quite good right here, doesn't it? I'm actually quite happy with that. And let's make sure. Yep, you're full of steam. Alright, lovely. So, let me grab some stuff as well so that I can light this up a little bit better. Since mobs do appear to be able to spawn on the iron blocks. Oh, wrong way. Let's go this direction. And also, let's go to sleep since it is nighttime once again. Alright, so... grab those. Let's grab some glowstone strips. Maybe even some of the nooks. Because those are easier to hide. So I like to usually put one... how do I do it there? I think I'll put it on top. Yeah, put it on top of it. Put you there. And then... what I could even do, actually, yeah, like right there in the little corners of the structure. Yeah, I think that looks quite good right there if I put them in the little corner spots. To light everything up. Yeah, that's good, I think. I think that's good enough right there. Alright, so we got a mix up and running, so now we actually have to use it to see, you know, just how good it is. We'll see. Let's turn off the chunks. I'm gonna put this back in here for now. And actually, let me turn it back on just in case, just to make sure it's all in the same chunk. Yep, looks like it is. Perfect. Alright, so I'm actually quite happy with how that looks right there. We'll see if we have to move it at some point, but that's a decent spot for it right now. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to try some sort of recipe. What was it? Oh, yes, we were going to try and make some tembaga. But also, I think we should also try and make some of this stuff here, the fertilizer, because we were running out of it in here. That needed some wood pulp, sand, and dirt, and some water as well, but I think I have some of that prepared. I'd like to try and see if we can get that figured out. But first, let's make the tembaga, and then we'll try and make that as well. And then there's a couple other quests we might try and do as well. Alright, so we got that. Let's go and see how this works. This is only going to be a couple of recipes. We have to put it in the input bus. So actually, we need to set up an output as well, don't we? But for the actually, no, we need an input and an output. It's probably better we have both. So let's grab some more stuff. Gonna need conveyor modules. I'll just use normal chests for now, I think. We may change that later, but grab those. We need, I think, 2 conveyors. And then we're gonna need 2 tin pipes. You there, grab you, you. And we'll head on back down here. Alright, so let's go ahead and put that chest there. In fact, can I still open that? Yep, with that nook there. Connect you up like so. I believe you're going to be on import. Let me just confirm from this guy. Yep. And then I'll do the same thing here, I guess. Import. Alright, so now I could just bypass this because it's going to take a while. So we'll just put this in here. Well, actually, I think this one's going to need a circuit because it is a mixer. So circuit 12, it appears, will be the circuit we need for this. Put it in, and let's see if it runs. How much power are you going to use? Okay. We're only running 3 recipes at once, so it's probably not going to use as much power as it normally would, but 2,260 liters of steam per second. And 20.7 seconds. Give me 30 tembaga dust. Not bad. Let's go see how that looks. Alright, and you go there, and then of course it should be output into this chest right here. And I guess I could have put chest right here, because I think I could attach a cover to this thing. But this keeps it kind of looking the same on both sides. But there it goes into the chest. Alright, perfect. Alright, so we've got that thing operational, and we'll also test out the fluids as well. Let me go ahead and put this in the furnace so I can get some of that tembaga prepared, in case I need it later on. Alright, so let's go, and so what do we need to make this fertilizer? We need water, which I have. In fact, I actually have a tank of that up here. Just freshly filled up from our tanks upstairs. And then, what else do we need? We're going to probably need a pump to pump it in. Got plenty of those. And then we need to collect some stuff. So, let's see. I'll go with 4 stacks of sand, 2 stacks of wood, 1 stack of dirt. So, sand is... Actually, I just need the dirt from here for now. I still need to automate this process, but I will do that. So dirt, yeah, we just need that because I can get the sand from down below. Although I don't know if I actually have 4 stacks of it. So, you know what, let's just take 4 stacks of sand. Got plenty of it here. And then I need 2 stacks of wood pulp. So let's see. No, that's not wood pulp. Wood pulp's down below. Grab that over here. Should have... Oh, there we go. 2 stacks of wood pulp. Right, so we'll connect the low voltage fluid tank right there. We will have a pump. Okay, that's going in. It's a good sign. Alright, so let's see. What do we need to make this? I think it was a circuit. Oh, no, no circuit for this one. So, turn you off. You can shift and right-click to clear the circuit automatically. Shift left-click, you can actually choose what circuit you want, in case you didn't know. And then what we'll do is I'll put in the dirt and the wood pulp, and I'll put 1 sand. That should start running, I think. Alright, now how much power is this going to consume? 6,000 liters of steam per second. So, That should be just enough, actually, for that one pipe to function, but we'll get 20 fertilizer. I'm only getting 12 that time. Ah, it's not actually delivering enough water. This pump right here is actually not fast enough. It's finishing before it can fill back in with enough water to do everything at once. Interesting. But wow, that's going by pretty quickly, though. That's pretty good, actually, but interesting, it's not actually getting the full thing. But no, that's not too bad. That's pretty good right there. Alright, well, we'll check back in on that in a bit, but I do want to also, before we end off for today, there was a couple of just some side quests that I wanted to try and check out, and we'll get that reward as well after. So, side quests I wanted to just take a look at were these ones right here. I just want to see, just want to make these at least, see what they do. Well, we might not try them out, but we'll see. So let's try and get some of these up and running. Transfer pipes. That was what the quest wants. And in order to make these, we're going to need some steel foil, actually. So, I don't know how much of this we need. I think, like, just a little bit. I do have a foil bending machine right here. And that shouldn't take too long. What else do we need? Some steel plates, red alloy rods I think I actually prepared. Actually, I think they're already in here. Yep, right there, I have some of those. We just need to wait on these foils to come in. They appear to be at. Let's get all of this off, since it looks like that is functioning at this point. Alright, so we should get those foils. What are we going to need for these? So basically, these are just different ways of transferring things over, like, one block gaps. Oh, wow, okay, this is actually quite a bit involved, isn't it? Interpole screws. Okay. Interpole rod. Right, interesting. Alright, so we just got all of these in. Steel foils. And I believe we can make the transfer pipes now. Yep, we can make all 8. It's actually quite expensive. But we got it. That is my wrench. Alright, so there we go. We got that quest knocked out, and that should unlock these ones. So, basic transport fluids. We do need to use these pipes. I have the pumps. I think we have the steel fluid pipes, so if not, we can easily make them. The Enderpole screws, though. So I'm guessing we put an Enderpole through a lathe. I can't remember if we made those or not. I'll do 2 for now. Give it a shot. Let's see. 20 seconds per Enderpole. Alright, that's not too bad. That was the liquid one. This one is items, which is almost the same thing. Brass item pipe. I don't think we have one of those. We have brass. Yes, we have a little bit of brass. I don't think we have any brass plates, though. How do we make that? I need 6 brass plates. Alright, we can do that quickly. Put that in there. Alright, and we should be getting in the Enderpole rod, which I think we needed to cut into the screws and the bolts and all that. So how long are you going to take? 16 seconds, not bad. There's the other one as well. That should be our brass plate, so I can make that pipe it wanted. Brass item pipe, right, that's an interesting one. So these must be faster than the tin ones. This is 1 stack a second. I don't know what a tin item pipe is, actually. Large tin item pipes 1 stack a second, so that seems like it's better. Put the extra one there. We only need 1, I believe. Let's go to sleep as well. It is nighttime once again. Alright, so what do we have over here? We should have our Enderpole bolts. I can throw those in the lathe. Those will give us the Enderpole screws, which we need to make these. Where's the other 2 at? Oh, there it goes. Alright, so we got those, and now we should be able to go ahead and make both of these. So how many do we need? Does it need just 1? 1 and 1. Alright. Let's give it a shot. We just need... I can make 4 of them if I really want to, but I only need 1 for now. Liquids. And items. Oh, we need small steel gears. I think I have those in here. Yep. Got that quest done. And I just made the liquid ones. We need items. Okay. Alright, so we got those knocked out. And then there was one more quest as well, which was the node upgrade. So it wants us to make something here. So nodes can take... So this is how we can upgrade them as well. For now, try building a world interaction upgrade. With it, you can set up simple auto... Ooh, interesting. Put a world interaction upgrade in a transfer node attached to a crafting table. On the other side of the table, the 3x3 areas now treated as the crafting grid. Place items in inventories on the other side, and if they make a Val recipe... Ah, that's interesting. To speed it up, you'll need to wait until HV for stainless steel. Also, if you place a node on a block of cobble that has lava and water next to it and a world interaction upgrade in it, it will produce cobble for you automatically. Ah, interesting. It cannot be used for infinite water, so how do we make this? Okay, so... Oh, this is quite expensive, actually, isn't it? Yeah, it does seem to be. Diamond pickaxes, even. Alright, so... Lapis plates. Lapis dust. Actually, we do have some of that. Do we have it in here? Yep, we do. So that's not an issue. I think that was a compressor recipe I saw. Alright, so we'll go ahead and make this. We'll just knock this quest out. Because we do like trying to knock out all the quests. In fact, my goal is before we ever finish the LV... Well, we'll have to finish it, but before we start MV, which who knows when that will be. Nowhere soon, I don't think. But I want to try and get every LV quest knocked out. Much like we did with the Steam Age before we entered LV. That should be the lapis plates right there. I do have diamond plates set up. I don't know if I've got the diamond rods, though. But I think we can just... Can we just file those? Because it needs it for this gear right here. Hoping we can file those down. Doesn't look like we can. Which is not great. Don't have any diamond rods left over either. Alright, then maybe we won't be able to make that just yet. Because that takes, like, way long. Yeah. Takes 192 seconds just to file one of those down. Alright, well, in that case, then we'll probably not make that today, but I can do that on my own then. Alright, that's fine. Let's put this diamond away. I don't need those. Let's put the ender pearl screws in here. And I guess I can put these in here for now. I'll have to figure out how to work these things, but we'll see. Just something I want to try and knock out for those quests, and then lapis plates can go in here as well. Alright, so let's go ahead then. I think we'll start wrapping up then by grabbing our rewards. So we got these quests knocked out at least. Give me more transfer pipes. You give me a loot bag and some coins, and a loot bag and some coins as well. And then we also completed the mass processing one, which was the steam blender, and we'll just take a steam mage loot bag, why not? Alright, so we got that, and then let's go ahead and open up all loot bags for today. So, steam mage loot bag, let's see what we get. We got a spawn squid and stuffed peppers, not really that useful. And then we got a loot bag for LV, we got 2 of those. Ooh, what's that? Top chest, Steve's Carts 2. We've gotten some of that stuff before, I think. And then the second LV loot bag. Oh, whoa, hello. Got some iron, red alloy, bronze, and the Pan of Doom. Okay, interesting. I think we got another Tinker's tool before as well. Where was it? It was in here. Yeah, this one right here, the Desolation one. And this one is the Pan of Doom. That's an interesting one. Reinforced 2, Auto Smell, Lifesteal 2, and Sharpness. I'll put you in there for now. Alright, well, we got some interesting stuff there. And, oh, let's actually, before we end off, actually, I almost forgot. We got to go check on that mixer again. So we should have made, I think, 4 stacks of fertilizer in here. Yep, we did. Perfect. So that wasn't too bad at all. This thing's pretty good. But it's just not as many uses as I thought for it. But this is actually not a bad location. I'm quite happy with that spot for it. So let's go put the fertilizer in here then and get that multi-farm back on. Because that wood was starting to drop a bit. So I'll turn that thing back on for now. And I think we're going to go ahead then and call it an episode there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.